Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take complex sources, ancient texts, cutting-edge ideas, and we try to pull out the most potent insights for you. Today, we're plunging into a really powerful, very ancient, and deeply human text, Psalm 22. Our mission here is to unearth some timeless wisdom, maybe some surprising insights that can really illuminate and hopefully strengthen your modern life.
And Psalm 22 is, well, it's an incredible choice for that. It's not just emotional, it's profoundly prophetic, too. Traditionally, it's attributed to King David. What's really fascinating, I think, is its dual nature. It opens with this gut-wrenching cry of abandonment, almost accusatory.
Yeah, it feels that way.
But then, remarkably, it pivots. It moves towards profound praise and eventually hope. And, of course, it's famous for its messianic prophecy, foreshadowing the suffering of Jesus Christ in some pretty striking detail.
Yeah.
The psalm sort of unfolds in three main parts, you could say. Verses 1 to 21 are that raw cry of desperation. Then verses 22 to 26, that's the turn towards praise. And finally, verses 27 to 31, that offers this sweeping vision of future hope, goes way beyond David himself.
Okay, let's really dive into that first part then. Because those opening lines, they're absolutely jarring. David cries out, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Why art thou so far from helping me and from the words of my roaring? It's just so raw, so honest, that feeling of being utterly unheard, abandoned.
It's powerful, isn't it? Precisely because it is unsettling. David, he really doesn't hold back. He goes on to describe intense physical suffering. Things like, all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax. My strength is dried up like a potsherd, like a brittle piece of clay, basically.
Completely broken.
Yeah, useless. And my tongue cleaveth to my jaws. He even says, thou hast brought me into the dust of death. It's a picture of total collapse.
And it's not just physical, is it?
No, not at all. Beyond the physical, he talks about the crushing scorn from others. He says, all they that see me laugh me to scorn. They shoot out the lip. They shake the head, saying he trusted on the Lord that he would deliver him. Let him deliver him, seeing he delighted in him.
So agonizing pain.
Yeah.
And he's being publicly mocked for his faith, for trusting God in the first place. That's another layer of torment entirely.
Exactly. And the imagery he uses for his enemies, it's incredibly vivid. Many bulls have compassed me. Strong bulls of Bashan have beset me round.
Bulls of Bashan, what does that signify?
Well, Bashan was known for its huge, powerful cattle. Almost monstrous. So it's an image of being overwhelmed by brutal, terrifying opposition.
Okay.
And then he says, dogs have compassed me. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. It's like being hunted, cornered by a pack.
Just relentless.
Yeah. But here's where the psalm gets unique and prophetic. Amidst all this personal agony, David includes these details that are just chillingly specific, like a premonition. They pierced my hands and my feet, and they part my garments among them and cast lots upon my vesture, which of course were fulfilled centuries later at the crucifixion.
It's incredible foresight.
It really is. And what's fascinating is the wisdom this offers us today. It's okay, it seems, to feel abandoned, to feel totally alone. And it's okay to voice that pain to God. He can handle our honesty, even our anger.
That's a big takeaway. Faith isn't pretending everything's okay.
Exactly. Faith doesn't mean putting on a brave face, pretending you're always strong. David's willingness to express his raw despair, it isn't weakness. It's actually an act of radical faith. It's engagement. Even in agony, it pulls him closer to God, paradoxically. And that actually strengthens his faith.
You called expressing despair faith in action. That still feels a bit counterintuitive, like you said. Most people think faith means being positive no matter what. Can you unpack that a bit more?
Sure. Well, for many people, doubt or despair feels like the opposite of faith, like a failure. But David's example here in Psalm 22, it shows that real faith isn't about not having doubt or pain. It's about what you do with it.
Right. Where you take it.
Precisely. He takes his deepest, most agonizing questions, even accusations, straight to God. He's not walking away. He's leaning in, however painful that is. It's like saying, even in this mess, you're still the one I'm crying out to. And that kind of engagement, even if it feels like wrestling, that's what strengthens faith. Because it's real. It's an authentic relationship, not just performance.
Okay. And then after all that intensity, that desperation, something shifts dramatically. David makes this almost shocking turn in tone. What causes that pivot? From anguish to declaring, I will declare thy name unto my brethren. In the midst of the congregation will I praise thee. It's like night and day.
It is a huge shift. And what's really significant, I think, is why he shifts. It's not because his circumstances suddenly got better. There's no mention of that.
Okay.
It's because he kept engaging with God. He didn't get an instant answer, no sudden miracle, but his persistence in crying out and staying connected somehow, it led to an internal breakthrough.
So praise can come before the problem is solved.
Yes, that's the key. Praise grows from persistence even before the external situation changes. And then he makes this powerful promise. My praise shall be of thee in the great congregation. I will pay my vows before them that fear him. This commitment to worship, despite the ongoing pain perhaps, it's not just sudden optimism. It actually encourages obedience. It strengthens faith because it's a choice. An active engagement with God's character, not just a reaction to circumstances.
So it shows us that even in really deep suffering, staying engaged with God, continuing to talk to him, wrestle with him, that can lead to an internal shift.
Yeah.
A breakthrough into praise and renewed commitment.
Exactly. It's about finding that breakthrough. Maybe not because things around you change, but because of internal resolve, that continued connection.
That's powerful. Worship is an act of defiant faith before the breakthrough, not just after. Okay, so as we move into the final verses, the focus seems to widen, right? It becomes much grander. What's the scope of this vision?
Precisely. The psalm zooms out way beyond David's personal story. It becomes universal, global. This grand vision unfolds. All the ends of the world shall remember and turn unto the Lord, and all the kindreds of the nations shall worship before thee.
Wow, that's huge.
It is. For the kingdom is the Lord's, and he is the governor among the nations. It's this picture of ultimate global redemption, hope for everyone. And it doesn't stop there. It looks forward, emphasizing generational impact. A seed shall serve him. It shall be accounted to the Lord for a generation.
So thinking about the future.
Yes. They shall come and shall declare his righteousness unto a people that shall be born. This idea of hope for future generations, it connects strongly to our lives today, actually. It encourages us to take actions now that will benefit our future selves or others down the line. It reinforces a long-term perspective rooted in faith and obedience to God's bigger plan. Our actions today, even in suffering, matter for the future.
Okay, let's explore that application more. We've journeyed through David's anguish, his turn to praise, this huge vision for the future. How do these ancient insights from Psalm 22 apply directly to your life today? And specifically, how can they encourage obedience and strengthen faith right now?
Well, a really key takeaway modeled so powerfully by David is to be radically honest about your struggles, especially with yourself and with God. We often feel pressure, put on a brave face. But Psalm 22 basically gives us permission. It says expressing despair, even anger towards God, isn't a lack of faith. It can be its engine.
Like fuel for the fire.
Kind of. It's permission to be real, knowing God can handle your darkest truths, and bringing that authentic self into the relationship with God that builds trust, that deepens and strengthens faith because it's genuine.
And what about his persistence? Sticking with it even when he felt ignored. That seems crucial for us too.
Absolutely. The second point is to keep showing up, even when it feels like no one is listening. David's persistence, despite feeling totally forsaken, is a huge model for resilience, spiritually and emotionally. In our lives, that means, keep praying, keep working on that thing, keep reaching out, even if you don't see results immediately. That act of showing up consistently is an act of obedience. It reinforces your trust, strengthens your faith that God hears, that he acts in his time, not always ours.
I also think the vulnerability aspect is really striking.
Mm-hmm.
David's suffering wasn't private. It's recorded for everyone to read. What's the power in that for us?
That's a great point. The third insight is understanding that vulnerability, when shared wisely, can lead to shared healing. By documenting his pain so honestly, David gave words to countless others across centuries. His story became a resource for their healing. So, in your own life, think about how sharing your story honestly, responsibly, can help others feel less alone. It builds community, empathy, and it strengthens collective faith. When we're vulnerable, we allow God to use our stories, our struggles, to bless others. And seeing him do that, that strengthens our own faith in his goodness.
And the idea that suffering isn't just meaningless, that it can have a purpose, that feels incredibly important when you're going through hard times.
Indeed. Fourth, Psalm 22 reminds us that suffering doesn't have to be the end of the story. It can actually be a pathway to deeper purpose, even a legacy. So if you're in a tough season, this psalm offers hope that sorrow can eventually give way to strength, and maybe even impact others positively. Now, it doesn't dismiss the real pain of the present, of course, but having that larger perspective, it strengthens faith by helping you see beyond the immediate agony to God's potential purpose. And that hope can motivate continued obedience even when it's hard, because you trust the struggle isn't pointless.
And finally, that big picture view, the future generations. How does that apply when we're often so focused on the here and now?
Right. The last point is about thinking beyond the moment, cultivating a long-term vision. David's vision included unborn generations. That encourages us to take actions today that maybe your future self or someone else entirely will benefit from later. This perspective helps cultivate obedience because it aligns your choices now with something bigger than just immediate gratification. It strengthens faith by showing that our actions today, rooted in trust in God, can contribute to something lasting, something significant beyond ourselves, shaping the future in a way.
Psalm 22 really is this incredible container, isn't it? Holding agony and hope, isolation and community, even death and life all together. It teaches us, I think, that you can feel utterly forsaken and still be faithful, that pain can coexist with purpose, that even a broken heart can somehow find its way back to singing.
Absolutely. And in today's world, with all the curated perfection online and the pressure to always seem okay, this psalm offers timeless wisdom, the wisdom of showing up real, with your doubts, your fears, your pain, and trusting that honesty, it's enough. It's enough to begin healing, and it's enough to deepen your connection with God and strengthen your faith.
So as you reflect on this journey we've traced, from anguish all the way to praise, here's a question for you. How might embracing the full spectrum of your own emotions, from despair right through to hope, how might that strengthen your faith and lead you to deeper obedience in your own life?